Hey guys, in this segment I'm going to show you how to initialize an app using the online Spring initializer. So this is for Spring Boot. So the first thing you're going to do is to go to this website. So it's https :// and then start.spring.io. So it will take you to this, what you're seeing here. So this is what you use to initialize your application. So let's just look at the options that you have. So starting with the project. So under project you can choose if it's going to be Gradle for Groovy or Kotlin. Yeah, so now I'm going with Maven, which is what I want to use for package management. Okay, and then moving to the language, I'm gonna use Java. So you can also choose here which language you wanna go with, whether it's Kotlin or Groovy. Right, so as for the Spring Boot version, I'm gonna go with the default one, which is 3,42 3,4,2. Yeah, that's this one. So usually it's just better if you just go with the default one, but you may have some reasons for not going with it, so you will decide. So for the project metadata group, so for the purpose of this video, I'm not gonna do this. I don't have a group, and then for artifacts, this is just gonna be the name of my Spring application. So in my case, I want to create a REST API. So later on this is going to be evolved into a REST API, hence why I'm choosing this, and the name as well is going to be that. The description, so this is not really important, I'm just showing you guys. And then the package name, so you will change this, but for you have to put something here to kind of give a description of your application to other people who will be looking at it or something. Yeah, and package name, you'll add your package name here. Okay, so moving on, you have your packaging. which thingy do you want to use for the packaging? So I'm gonna go with jar if I want to package my application later on, and then for the Java version I'm gonna go with Java 23. So if you don't know which version of Java you are using, just simply open the terminal and then type Java C version. This will give you the version you are running. So if you don't see anything here or some kind of an error or something, just know it's probably a problem with Java, and if you don't have it installed you will have problems. So you had better install Java first before continuing with this, right? Okay, so as you can see here, I'm using 23, hence why I'm choosing 23. So dependencies, so for my dependencies, as I mentioned earlier, you want to create a REST API for web, which is this. I'm gonna choose a Spring Web, and then just for help with the boilerplate code, I'm gonna also add Lombok for Java, and then I also want to add a database to my REST API. So I wanted to connect to a database, so I'm gonna add Spring Data, and then the database I want to use is mySQL, so I'm gonna add the driver for mySQL as well. Okay, so this is about it for what I want to use it for my REST API. So I can continue to click on generate. If maybe you want to add some more, you can go ahead and do that as well. So this will definitely depend on what you are doing. It's not going to be the same for me and you. Right, so if I click on generate, it's generated a file which is REST API. So as you can see here, so what I need to do now is extract the zip file that I just downloaded, and then so I'm gonna use Eclipse to just open the file I just the project I just created from the website. So it's gonna be under downloads, so this one, and then yeah, so this is the project that I'm opening, and then if there's no next, then you just click on open. Okay, so this is my application. Sometimes you may have problems when opening here. So for example, in this XML file, you may have like red highlights here showing you like there's some kind of a problem. So usually what you should do is first, for later, just go to preferences, and then under Maven, just turn on this download artifacts. So see, just download artifact Java doc. Yeah, just turn this on. So this if you load a project and it doesn't have like the dependencies downloaded, it will do it for you. So I'm using Maven, so hence why I was adding Maven once there. I don't know how to use the others, but in time maybe I will and explain them. Okay, so another thing you can do if you have problems is just right click on your project and then click on run as. Then you will see this choose this number 6, which is Maven install. If you choose that, it will download and install all the missing packages, right? And another thing you can do after doing this one is you go to Maven after right clicking on your project, and then select update. So you make sure you select the application here, and then also force update on of snapshots, right, releases, and then okay. So this will very likely also fix your problem, and then you will be fine. So the only thing you need to do now is just start coding, right? Okay, so I'm gonna start with my app, which is a REST API. I'm gonna be using VS Code for coding, and yeah. So for if maybe you also wanna do the same thing, just make sure that you have all the Spring Boot extensions installed before you start coding. So these 3 essential. So these are gonna help you with the compiling and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, so my REST API connects to a database, which is something I'm gonna have to prepare first before coding. So I'm just gonna go to my workbench. I'm gonna be using springboot, mySQL. Yeah, I'm gonna be using mySQL, and then yeah. So for you to prepare, you need to first create a database or schema. Yeah, a schema. So you need to create a database for whatever you are doing. So I'm gonna use this one. Yeah, I'm gonna use this one, which I created. As you can see, it's empty. So I'll just have it on open for now. So make sure you have a database that you're gonna call to when you're working on the application side. So yeah, make sure you have that. So just for setting up, I'm gonna have to go to, so under main, resources, you'll find application.properties. So under here I'm gonna add the connections that I need for my Spring application to work. So a data source is going to be data source.url. I'm going to go with JD BC mySQL. It's localhost. It's not running on some kind of a web server or something, so I don't have to specify that. If you recall, the name of my database is YouTube, which is what I'm gonna be connecting to. So let me just check if this is correct. Data source. Yeah, this is it. And then I also need to add the username, which is going to be spring dot source. Username. My username is going to be just my name. I will also need to add a password. Password, right? So my password is just going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Yeah, so don't be like me and show your password to people, you know. Spring and JPA. Let's show. This is going to be, I'm going to set this to true, and to update. I'm not sure if this one still works, but the last time I did this was important too. This was important too. Dot dialect. Spring.jpa.properties and have a need equals to org. mySQL 8 dialect. Yeah, this is about it, but I'm not sure about this one. I'll just check it out and then maybe put an update or something, comment. Yeah, so obviously you'd have to save after doing this, right? So if you now run the application, you will see that it will work, Right, you see, it's working now, so it's running on port 8080. Yeah, so my application is live, and then so I'm just gonna have, okay, it's fine, it can be live while I code the rest of the API. Okay, so moving on from that, I have to start editing the code now, so it's gonna be under Java. I can close this one. So I'm gonna need 4 packages, which is gonna be my controller, my service, my repository, and the models that I wanna have in my database. Right, so I'm gonna need these 4. So the first thing I'm gonna add is a package for the model. Alright, so package for the model, and then enter. Right, so as you can see here, a model has been added, and then I'm gonna add another package for my controller. And then I'm gonna add another one for my repository. Another one for my service, yeah, for my service. Okay, so these four are the basic. I think it's the standard, like for programming and stuff like that. You mostly find these four in any REST API that you come across out there, be it .NET or whatever it is that you are using. This is the standard. So I'm going to start with the model. So I'm going to create a new file here, which is a class. I'm just gonna make it basic, just a basic authentication setup, which this one is gonna be an entity. Yeah, this one is gonna be an entity, and I want it to be an entity. Yeah, so we start adding the annotation. So the table name, I want it to be a table, and then its name is gonna be users, right? So this whatever data that is stored under person, under user, will be stored in a table named users, right? Yeah, that's it. So for data, for my boilerplate code, your getters and setters, all that, yeah, I want it to be I want it to be generated by and then all args constructor, and then a no args constructor. Let me see what the problem is here. Duplicate mode. Oh, okay, I see. So the reason you have this is because you don't have any variables inside. Oh, the reason I have this is because I don't have any variables inside user, so that's why I'm getting this error. But if I start now to put in variables, let's make it a long. So this one is always a long for ID. Yeah, it's just a long for my ID, and then I want the ID to be generated at ID. So this tells Springboot that this is my ID, and then I want it to be generated value. I want it to be generated value. The strategy is going to be equals to identity. Yeah, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So the more I add, it's just gonna keep on counting upwards. Yeah, so that's how I want it to be. And so just other basic variables for the user, and then choose 3. Yeah, and then also want it to be an email, which is one of the things that is always unique to one user, an email. Yeah. Okay, so that is it for now. I'm not gonna need anything else, so I already have these two. These are gonna help me out later, and yeah, so let's move on to the repository. So I'm gonna create an interface for this one. This one is gonna be a user repository. Yeah, a user repository which will have it will contain it will extend the JPA repository. This is basically me making the connection to my database. Yeah, so okay, it's complaining here. I need to import user from model. Alright, yeah, so this is it. I don't need anything else from here, so that's it. And then as for service, service, this one is going to be a class, user service. Okay, so for user service, I'm gonna have to call methods for getting users, updating, all those things. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call methods for that. Okay, so as a service, so this is a service, and then so I'm gonna need access to my repository for the user, which is I'm gonna have access to it like this. So this is gonna be auto-wired to my database, and then this is good. So the public method I'm gonna make use of for getting all the users from my database. So this is just for demonstration purposes. It's gonna be this. It's a list of users, and then get all users. I don't have anything in the parameters. So what's happening here? Imports. I need to import a list and also the user. Right. So this is going to return user. User repository dot get, or not get, or find all. So yeah, find all. So as you can see here, find all returns a list of all the users that you have. So yeah, So it's just a simple call to that function. So this one is going to be for adding a user. So save user. So obviously I'm going to take in a user, and then I'm going to return a user if there's saved user repository is saved. Okay, so this one takes a user inside the save method, and it also returns the user as well. So yeah, you can see here it returns user. Yeah. Okay, so that's, yeah, those are the two basic ones. I'm not gonna go further with this. Yeah, it's just, yeah, just to keep the video short. Okay, so for now, yeah, and then I need a controller. So controller is one way in which my whatever's accessing the API is gonna use. Right? So it's gonna be user controller. No, I think I messed up something here. Instead of creating a class, I created something else. User controller. Right, so yeah, this is gonna be my user controller, and then this user controller is going to be where my REST controller is going to be address controller. There you are. And then, so if you noticed, when you go to a website, they usually have mappings. Mappings as to so company.com / what / login / what. So that you created using this. So for my example, I'm just gonna say API / users. Yeah, API / users. So for this one, it's just gonna, whatever's gonna follow under here is gonna follow this one. It's gonna be API / users, maybe login / register / delete, whatever it is. Yeah, so this is where it comes from. So this controller makes use of user service. Yeah, user service, and then this is also auto wired by Spring auto wired, right? Okay, so this is also auto wired. Okay, yeah, you can get started with okay, let's start with getting the user. So I have two methods, right? One for getting and one for that one gets the list of all the users, and then the other one adds a user. So save user. Yeah, so for getting, it's a get map. Get mapping, and then where does it map to? So it's gonna be API users dot get all users. Get all, right? Yeah. then this method is going to be public. So all the methods that you have under here should be public, otherwise they won't be accessible on the API because they are private, obviously. Yeah, so this one, get all users, get all users, and then not taking anything, so return user service dot get all users, and then we are good to go. Wait, I need to import first. I need to import the list and then as well as the model. Right, so the next one is going to be a posting one. Post, yeah, a post mapping. So where am I posting? I mean, what's the mapping I'm gonna use for this posting thing? So here I'm missing a colon, a forward slash. So add user, also add this as well, so public, so this is going to be public, so I'm just going to return the user if it's added, and then, or now if it is not. Add user, so this one is going to have user. Okay, so for this one it's kind of special because where am I gonna get this user? It's gonna come from the body of the HTTP request, which is the post request that I'm gonna get. So in the body of the HTTP, I'm gonna have to get the user, which is why I should then also specify that this user is gonna come from the request body, right? Yeah, like this. So it comes from the request body, and what am I doing with it? I'm just gonna see if it saves or just return now. So remember, my service does all the work here now, which is cool. Okay, yeah, so this is it. This is mostly it. So we just need to test the application now. So I just restarted it, and it doesn't seem like there are some problems that we have. So as you can see here, it's running on port 8080. So I have postman waiting on standby here to add users and remove and yeah, so I will just have to make sure that the API matches. So we'll start with the posting one. So I need to add something before I can retrieve it, right? So we'll start with posting. So you just click on post here, and then API / users, this one. So it's gonna be like this for most of what I use here. Dot add user. It's missing user here. Yeah. Okay, so on the body of my HTTP post, I'm gonna add this user. So don't forget that your body needs to match whatever you have as a user. So you can't be posting surname while you do not have surname in your thingy. So you need to change this to what? Password. And I do not need this one, so I'll just have these three. Remember, this one is auto-generated, so you don't need to actually add it there. So yeah, this is mostly it. And then if I click on send, good, so it works, right? So it gave me back so let's look at this API right here. So it returns a user, so a user that is just been added. So my database was empty, so it's gonna be 0, 1 here, and then this is what I just added, right? So if we go to our select everything from users, users, and then this is it. So select everything from users. As you can see here, this is the table that has been created, and then it has, this should refresh, it has some information now. It's no longer empty. Okay, so this is basically how you do it. So let's just perform other tests as well. Let's add another one. Let's make it 2 here, and then another 2 here, and then if we send, as you can see, it works. Right, so it works. And then what I need to test now is if it gets all the users that I'm supposed to be getting. So it's the same API, right? So it's the same API, so it's just get all now instead of whatever it is that I have. So I'm just gonna have get all now, and then if I send, you can see, as you can see here, it gives me all my records in the database. So that's mostly it. If you want some more, then just let me know, and then I'll continue on this one. So there are a few things I didn't touch on actually. So if you wanna see some more, and then just let me know. We'll see what we do.